What's up, folks? Welcome back to the channel. We have another windy day. It's been like this for about a month now, and hopefully it lets up because it's getting a little ridiculous. Right now we have 22-mile-an-hour winds, and I think it's going to get up to like 30. And we got rain on the way, so I need to hurry up and get this wrapped up. This video is about the tripod. It's not about this rifle. We're going to talk about the tripod here in a quick second, but I also want to talk about some modifications, some upgrades that I made to my PWS MK116. So we have the Bolt TL35 on here. We have a Hyperfire competition trigger here with the red springs. So you have two springs that come with it, a green and a red. I put the red in here. Guys, I was experiencing light primer strikes. It didn't matter what type of ammunition I ran. I also put in an enhanced firing pin. Excuse me, guys. I put in an enhanced firing pin in here, and still I was experiencing light primer strikes, and it was pissing me off. So I didn't hunt with it for a while. Just recently, my boy Estienne got onto the PWS gang, and he got the same exact rifle, but his is M-Lock, and he put in a Hyperfire, and he said, "Amantine, I'm not having any issues right now. It's running just fine." I said, you know what? I'm gonna go buy one. So I went over to Bauer Precision in Denton, Texas. They had two in stock. I grabbed one, I put it in there, and I've run it on 2 hunts with 0 light primer strikes. So far so good, but I will say this, guys, the damn trigger is light. All right, it's light. So don't go crazy ripping into this thing, man, because you might have an accidental discharge, because it feels light to me. But anyways, we'll talk about that in another video. I want to get some trigger time behind it and make sure it's living up to its name. We also have a new suppressor up here. It is the Torrent suppressor. This is a Texas-based company out of Stafford, Texas. I grew up in that area, Katy, Cypress, Fairbanks area. It was really cool to see a company out of that area, so I was like, man, I got to jump on this. Also available at Bauer Precision in Denton, Texas. Guys, this is a really cool suppressor. It has kind of a similar flow-through system, kind of like OSS. But I will be honest with you, it's a quiet can, man. It's a quiet can. 7.62 by 39, of course. This is their 30M. So you have a long version, a medium version, and a short version. I decided to go with the M. I think the next one could possibly be an L, but we're gonna talk about this here soon as well. I like to get my hands on stuff, use it for quite some time, and then get you guys some feedback, and that's where I'm at right now with the trigger and the suppressor. So let me get some trigger time with it and we'll talk about it. But right now I have a lot of trigger time behind the 2 Vets tripod, and that's what we need to be talking about. The quick deploy tripod from 2 Vets out of New York. It's a veteran owned company, and guys, my first time seeing these, I seen the tripods on social media, all right? That's where I first seen them. And I go down to S&S in Denton, Texas, visit Mike with one of my builds, and there was a tripod sitting in the shop. I walk up immediately and I start to play with it. There was some other words I was gonna use, but I started fondling it and playing with it, right? And I'm like, man, this is a solid tripod. I like it. And there was one thing on the legs that really caught my attention, and it was the 1 knuckle adjustment. That's all it is. You got one massive thick leg here, and then you have one aluminum collar down here for your adjustment. That alone just had me just smiling, because there's a lot of other tripods out there that will have 3 to 4 different adjustments on their legs, and I just feel that's just, it's totally unnecessary unless you're getting a compact setup for your backpack and going hiking up in the mountains, you know, but we're not doing that. We don't need that many adjustments. We just need one. So that caught my attention. Anyways, I asked, I said, whose tripod is this? And he says, your boy Clay. And I said, I'll be damned. So I texted Clay and I was like, hey man, what you think about this tripod? And he says, man, it's where it's at right now. And he says, a lot of guys that I shoot with, he does competition shooting and hunting as well. And he said, a lot of guys that I hunt with and shoot with, man, they're on that 2 Vets. And I was like, all right, man, I guess I'm gonna have to jump on the bandwagon and see what it's all about, right? So I got my hands on the Q.D.T V2, and the reason why I went with this model was because of the base right here. And I'm gonna show you guys the difference. My boy Clay's was not like this. He has a Q.D.T, but it's a different model. It's the wider, it has a wider base. On my previous tripod, the Vortex Radiant, it had a wider base. I actually have it right over here. I'll pull it into the frame here in a second so you guys can see the comparison. But I'm not gonna do a comparison here to bash the Vortex tripod. It is obvious I had a lot of success with that setup, but there were certain things about the tripod that just wasn't good enough for me, and I needed something that I felt like was perfect for my application, and that's night hunting and the stalking. And guys, when I mean stalking, I'm holding this tripod and I gotta actually walk with it, you know? So having a slim base up here, it helps collapse these legs. And you see how nice and compact that is. It just makes it a lot easier to hold the tripod when I'm stalking. When you have a wider base up here, the legs don't collapse as close. You have a gap and you're forced to carry the tripod by one leg, and I don't like that. You still have a nice solid platform here, but it's compact at the base, and that's what I like. The wider bases have their place. For me out here at night, and I'm saying for me, because that's what I want a slimmer base up here. I'm gonna go through the specs real quick. I will pull the Vortex tripod over here and I'll show you guys the difference, and we'll go from there. So let me pull my phone out, because a lot of people refuse to do any type of Google search. They want me to tell them. So I'm telling you right now the specs. All right, leg sections, you have 2 and 1 twist lock. The main tube diameter here is 42 millimeter. That is massive, that is thick. Deployed height is 65.5 inches. Some of bitches like this whenever I got it fully deployed. It is up there. I'm 6'3" and some change, and it gets up there. Also, you can collapse it. So collapse height is 39 inches, 65.5 on full. Leg adjustment tabs are ratchet ears, twist locks, 1/4 turn. Integrated spike feet, which I thought was really cool. Down here on the bottom, you get to twist I got those jokers down pretty tight. You get to twist the pad off, and on the inside you have a spike. All you got to do is twist that spike off, and you can twist it in on the opposite end. You can actually see the end of the spike here on the back side, and all you got to do is just twist it in, and that'll give you that spike if you're needing that extra traction, you know, to get that tripod planted into the ground. I've never had to use it. The feet, the base down here, boy, it is windy. The base alone, it just leaves a good footprint in the ground. So even in the mud, I don't see my legs sinking into it. So we'll use the spikes for something else in the future, maybe an all-dad hunt or something, right? All right, let me pull my phone back out. Head options is the ball head. This is their dual tension 55 millimeter, I believe, dual tension head. Max weight rating is 100 pounds. That's a lot of weight. I don't know too many people going around throwing 100-pound rifles on their tripods. You know, that's a huge weight capacity. The Vortex, I believe, is 44 pounds. So it just shows you the big difference in weight there. You know, this joker will hold some weight, and the legs are sturdy. Even when I put any type of pressure on it, the legs don't, I mean, I'm putting weight into this, and look, the legs don't even bow. You know, that's pretty impressive. So it's a really solid platform, lightweight. Oh, did I even say the weight? I did not say the weight. What is the weight on this thing? I don't have the weight here. I'll get the weight here in a second, but I know for a fact that I'm about 1 pound to 1.5 pounds lighter than the Vortex tripod. And the Vortex tripod is at 6 pounds. So I know I'm lighter than that, and I'd already looked up the specs. It's like 1.5 pounds lighter. So this joker's pretty light. Anyways, let's get this other tripod in the frame. So over here we have the Vortex, Radiant, and the Q.D.T from 2 Vets. On the 2 Vets, it comes with a throw lever, and I actually ended up throwing it over on the Vortex, but it comes with a throw lever on the ball head for an Arca Swiss, but Arca Swiss only. So what I ended up doing was taking my old Really Right Stuff plate, and I moved it over to the 2 Vets. I would not be surprised that there's going to be some new stuff in the pipeline for Two Vets in the future. And if there is, it's going to be this. This is the Soar SCLR, I believe. The Soar SCLR from Really Right Stuff, and it is discontinued. I think they came out with a newer version, but this plate allows you to run Arca Swiss and Picatinny rails. So if I got the Arca Swiss on my bolt guns or my AR, I can run it on here, and if I got the Picatinny like I did on my PWS, I can throw it in here and just lock it over, and it works just fine. I love it. It's really fast, and it's simple. I like it. They're about 130 bucks, but like I said, it's discontinued and they came out with a newer one. The one that originally came on here is just a throw lever. You throw your Arca in there and you lock it down and it works just fine. So if you got Arca only on all your rigs, you're gonna be just fine with that. But if you like to run Picatinny and Arca back and forth, I suggest getting this plate right here. It works really well. So I don't know if you guys noticed right off the bat here with the width of the base here on the Radian and the Two Vets. There's a lot of good tripods out there, guys, and you know, you're gonna see in the clip, I was on this hunt with a buddy of mine, Clay, and you're gonna see Aaron in there as well with his Galil 762x39, and you're gonna see that he was on a tripod that I never even heard of. I honestly don't even remember what it was, and he has a lot of success with that. So don't think that I'm doing this video to try to pimp something on you, all right? There's a lot of good options out there. I'm just showing you guys what's been working out for me recently, all right? So the Vortex Radian base right here is extremely wide, and as you can see here, the Two Vets Q.D.T is pretty slim. Two Vet offers a tripod that's extremely similar to this. The Q.D.T, I believe, that's the one my boy Clay has. And immediately when he seen this tripod, he was like, I gotta get me one of those, because he knew what advantage it was gonna have with it being slim up at the base, you know, especially when it comes to stalking. I'm gonna go ahead and collapse this one. I'm gonna give you guys a little tip. It's not gonna work out for everybody. So I know some folks aren't gonna like it, but what I do here is the pivot pins here, I will pull these out on every tripod that I've ever owned. I will pull these out and I'll put a little blue Loctite on them, and I'll work them back in there and I'll let them sit overnight. And I like to have my legs stiff, because if you leave them alone the way they come, even over time when you're opening and closing these legs, they will try to open up on you. That one opened up just slightly because I was putting pressure on it, but just holding it, it shouldn't open up on its own, and that's the benefit of that Loctite. I can just grab one of my legs and go on a stalk, or I can just grab all three of them like I am right now and just go on my stalk. So I got that one collapsed, and now we're going, oh, see? They want the cross, and look at that. That right there that's a huge difference in the way I'm gonna be stalking. I'm gonna be stalking, holding it with one leg here, and look at that. It doesn't take much, and that has blue Loctite on it, and I don't know, it just kind of pisses me off every once in a while when that happens. And then sometimes the legs will cross. That will happen as well with this one, but it's less likely to happen because we don't have that gap up here at the base. This is a good setup though, especially with the heavier guns. You know, I feel like I'm a little bit more solid here at the base with it, but it has its place. I'm still gonna use it, but it has its place. But just from looking at it, you guys can see there's a huge difference in the width up there at the top of the base. So this tripod has been through hell and back, guys. I can't even release the plate out of here anymore. I broke the button off and the aluminum is wore out. I ripped some of the plastic tabs here that go over the, look at this one. I mean, it's been through hell, but it still works. It still works. Q.D.T V2 from Two Vets. 9 hard ammunition, 6.5 Creedmoor, 131 grain, controlled chaos. You guys are fully aware of the Killer's Hide area, and this is usually where I stand. But just recently we had a bunch of rain and I didn't want to come this way because it was going to be extremely muddy. So I decided to just go on the other side of the washout over here. And you can see that manure pile. I was just behind that, and that's where the coyote was. He was just standing here. I couldn't believe it. I expected him to be somewhere over there or on the opposite side of that washout just looking for some carcasses, but easy kill, easy kill.
One, two.
Man, I felt like they ran right through our legs.
A bunch of them did. Yeah, I didn't know what to do.
I got another one right here. There we go. All right, guys, we are out here with Clay and Aaron. We are up in North Texas, not far from the river. We recovered 6 pigs. It's kind of crazy how that starts out, you know. You got a game plan in your head. You want to go for that first headshot, you know, and then after that, I'm telling you guys right now, it's like turning on the lights with roaches in the house, man. They go to scattering. And you just got to be careful. You know, you don't want to swing on people. You want to take it easy. You want to have fun, you know. So 6 pigs down. But right now, I really want to talk about these tripods, guys. We just had a short little conversation about, you know, pretty much the evolution of these things. And they have come a long ways, a long ways. Right now, you guys have been seeing me. I've been running the Vortex for quite some time. Right now, this is the 2 Vets, the Q.D.T V2. You know, we're going to do a little bit more talking on this setup here pretty soon. But I'm telling you guys right now, I'm pretty damn comfortable with this setup. Clay is on the Q.D.T, which you can see there's a huge difference in the width of the base here. And over here, Aaron, what model is this?
That's an NRL.
NRL. Okay, NRL. He's got the same type of base. So we got the wide base here. And guys, when I was running that Vortex, it had the same type of base. There's nothing against it. It's super solid. But one of the biggest things was being able to carry the tripod in and out of the field comfortably. You know, I wanted to be able to have it nice, compact, and slim. And you cannot do that with the wider bases. Again, still solid setups. I just preferred to have something a little bit more slimmer. And you can see right here at the base, it's a lot slimmer. Oh, man. I don't know what we could do without these things, man. It'll be shooting freehand, it sucks. And tripods is definitely the way to go right now. It's all about these tripods. We're going to try to find some more pigs tonight. And again, we're going to talk about these tripods here soon.
One, two. Boop. Yeah. One, two. Boop. We both got that one.
We both went for them?
Yeah, I went zoop. Got the trees left.
All right, folks, I hope y'all enjoyed that. You know, not every hunt is perfect. And I just want folks to know that. You know, I know you see a lot of footage out there with guys and they're hitting every single time and the animals are dropping and all that, and it's just picture perfect, right? I truly believe that we're only sharing what you want to see. All right, and I have my misses. I have a shitload of misses, and I have no problem talking about it and sharing it, you know, but it's reality. You know, when you're out here and these animals are scattering left and right and they're running fast as hell, I mean, you're not going to connect on all of them, you know, but it's nice to know that you have a solid platform. You want to eliminate every excuse possible, you know. And before, when I was shooting free-handed or shooting off the janky old tripods, you know, you had excuses. But there's no excuses with these tripods, man. They're going to give you that nice, steady platform to shoot from. And if you watch those videos, you can see how smooth the panning is. Any type of adjustment with elevation is really smooth. There's a little pro tip that I want to give you guys real quick. When you have your rifle or your pistol set up on your tripod, don't have it to where it's falling down like that. I've been behind some of my buddies' rigs and they're like, hey, a.amantine, come over here and check this out. And you get behind it and the rig just falls. Well, when you're behind that and these pigs are running around and I have my tension set up just right, so I'll loosen everything up. But you don't want it to where the rig is just flopping left and right. Get that tension to where, and I'm adjusting my tension right now. I'm adjusting my tension right now. I have it to where my rig drops really slow. You see that? See how slow that is? And I still have control of my pan and my tilt. So whenever these pigs are running, I'm able to keep track of them, and I can still do my panning and I can still do my adjustments with elevation, but still it's dropping, you know, it's dropping smooth, you know? You don't want to have it all loose and crazy, man, because even with the tripod and it being loose like this, you have control of the rig, and any type of movement, you know, I've seen some footage where these guys' reticles are canted because they have no adjustment. You know, get that joker to where you can manipulate the rig on the tripod but still be steady. I know you guys are eyeballing the setup here. This is a PWS MK109. You already seen it. 2.5 pound single stage. We have the IRA Alpha. We're going to be talking about that here really soon. Released, they should be shipping any day now. And we have the YHM resonator on here, and we're shooting subsonic ammunition, 300 blackout subsonics. Woo, this wind's kicking up. 194 grain subs from Grind Hard Ammunition. I know you guys are wanting that footage. You guys are wanting those sub kills. A lot of people are always asking about subs. They have their place, especially on ranches like this where it's hunted heavily. Shooting the subs, you know, kind of keeps the noise level down and gets these animals comfortable to come back out again. So we're gonna get you some footage on that here pretty soon as well. All right, this rain is on me. I know you guys are anxious about the 6 Creed as well. My boy Clay has it. He is working up some loads. I was shooting some factory ammunition with it recently just to kind of get the break-in process going, get the feel of the gun. But we really need to work up loads for it. So he's working up some loads for it. He says he can get possibly 3,300 out of that. So if we can get 3,300 out of that rig, man, I'll be pretty stoked about that. So once we get those loads worked up for it and we get ammunition built up for it, I'll start hunting with it again. So just be patient, guys. It's in the works, all right? But anyways, guys, tripods are a game changer, man. You know, it's made me pretty much who I am, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to shooting and hunting, you know. If it wasn't for the tripod, I'll be sloppy as hell. And I still have my sloppy moments, you know, you see it, but there's nothing like being solid. So many people always asking, man, how are you so solid with these shots? It's the tripods. If you look on the countdown, the rifle is pinned on that pig's head or vital. It's just pinned on them, and I'm just ready to pull the trigger. So it's been a game changer, and it's been a blessing. So you don't have to break the bank. I know there's $1,500 setups out there. Some of them are a lot more than that, and I know some that are a lot less than what this is going for. But I'm just showing you guys how beneficial it's been for me out in the field and as a shooter. It's been a game changer. Anyway, so enough of me talking. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next vid.